Pokemon villains have the craziest and most insane mindset, but can they stand each other? In this video, let's imagine that all mainline Pokemon villains are in one room. Who would be the first one to leave and who would be the last one? If you want to know my thought, stick to the end. Also, in case you're wondering, no, I don't consider Piers and Penny villains. Both are not global threats and are more chaotic good. They do cause chaos, but their intentions are good. To add on, they would probably leave as soon as they see all the crazy people in the room. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Let's start with the people that would leave first. N, Guzma, Sada and Turo would be the first batch to leave, and they would not last more than 10 minutes. N would dip that quickly because of Ghetsis. At first he would try to make amendments with him, but knowing Ghetsis, I know that the conversation would be anything but friendly, causing N to stop wasting his time and leave. Guzma is pretty fearless, that's true, but his motives are just breaking Alola traditions. Nothing that would threaten a society as a whole. He struggled in Ultra Space as well. I don't think he could handle the sheer amount of crazy psychologies thrown around by the likes of Ghetsis, Lysander and Cyrus. If it's not fear that makes him leave, it would probably be boredom. Sada and Turo are both probably gonna leave because they're both nice people, but unfortunately they threatened the stability of the world with their research. Even if they would at one point try to point out the wrongdoings of the others in the room, they would eventually realize that they are both wasting their time and then leave. The next batch that would leave after half an hour would be Archie, Archer, Chairman Rose and Lusamine. If I take Archie in general, you know that he's not as evil as you think. He was very quick to realize his mistake after releasing Kyogre. He would definitely leave not out of fear but out of logic, realizing that he should not be at the others' level. Archer would leave realizing how inferior he is to the others, especially to the likes of Giovanni. In fact, his entire goal is to call Giovanni back so that he could lead Team Rocket again. Once the others realize Archer's status, they would call him out on his inferiority, causing him to leave. Rose is not as crazy as the others and his intentions are somewhat good. However, he also caused a threat to the world. The reason he would last longer than the first batch is because he is a rather very composed man and could probably handle the others until a certain limit. Once that limit is reached, he would elegantly leave with a bit of fear in his mind. Lusamine is also one of the most composed villains and has handled quite a lot in her life. However, with how she got kidnapped in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon in episode RR, I don't think she could last longer than the other villains. The next batch is made of Maxie, Giovanni and Lysander, who would last until an hour or so. The only reason Maxie would last longer than Archie is because he is better at keeping composure and order. Team Magma is indeed more controlled than Team Aqua, but soon he would get the same realization as Archie and leave. The only reason I kept Giovanni this long is because he founded Team Rainbow Rocket with all the villains in it. But out of all the villains besides Archer, he's had the most pathetic disband ever. He just gave up after a second defeat with no will to fight further after that. His Rainbow Rocket self truly showed how mentally strong and ordered he is. Lysander is a very composed and stone cold man. He would be one of the guys to not dish out any insults or offensive conversation to anyone. He's very sturdy, but it has been shown that he has a breaking point, and once that breaking point is reached, ooh boy, he is crazy enough to kill or even worse force immortality on children. With these threats, I think that would unnerve a lot of the villains, but not our final three. Who would go out last between Cyrus, Ghetsis and Volo? Well, the first one to go out would probably be Ghetsis. Now if we go in terms of stats, Ghetsis would be the most feared out of all villains, definitely the biggest menace out there. Attempted homicide on children, twice, caused the destructions of towns, manipulation, it goes on and on. However, he also has a big breaking point, to the point he lost his motivation and spirit. The other two are very mentally tanky and would be unfazed by Ghetsis' threats. And once Volo lets out a single laugh, Ghetsis would go insane to the point that the Shadow Triad has to interfere and take him away. So now we have the two biggest menace from Sinnoh. One side we have Volo, which is one of the biggest plot twist villains in Pokemon history. Volo wants to destroy and recreate the world by taking Arceus over. He even goes to the point of contacting Giratina to tear open the space-time rift. Even after his loss, he refuses to give up on his dream no matter what. Cyrus has blown up places, almost blew up a town with only elderly people, tortured legendary Pokemon, had plans to eradicate humanity, endured getting abducted by the demon Giratina himself, and willingly stayed in the distortion world while still keeping a still, cold face. This was very hard for me to decide. Both have no breaking point and refuse to give up. They've both endured an interaction with Giratina and are the only ones that are really universal threats. I have to give the win to Cyrus though, only because this man willingly stayed in the distortion world for the rest of his life. I don't think he would leave the room. Even though Volo is the one that controlled Giratina, it doesn't matter since Cyrus doesn't fear it. I really think Cyrus is too stone cold and persistent to not be the last guy standing. Anyway, what do you think? Do you think it should have been someone else? I always enjoy reading your opinion in the comments. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.